Hello，你哋大家好，好高興又嚟到 C Channel。我哋今日咧好高興咧請到 Doctor Carlos。咁啊，最近咧10月1號咧就有個好新嘅消息，就係黃金簽證咧係已經停止㗎啦。咁而咧係唔可以再買房地產。So we have a very big news only a few days ago that Golden Visa in Portugal has already finished. So and we no longer can buy real estates, correct?
Yes, unfortunately, the government this make this process really fast. Nobody was expecting, and what happened is on Friday, the government just launched the new law that will terminate the golden visa. Unfortunately, like this, we don't have much time. We were expecting to at least until the end of this month, but after Saturday was the last day was on Friday. So after Saturday, then the new law starts becomes with the new rules, and all the golden visa channels has been terminated, has been also changed the law. At this moment we'll still have two options for the future. We are still studying the two options, but everything has related to real estate is not going to be possible anymore.
Like we have another option, haven't we? Like we have we talked about something called D7 a few years ago. So can we talk a little bit like what is a D7 visa instead of golden visa now? Like,
Yeah, sure. So it's something that is already started for some time. It's nothing new. It's not a new law coming. It's not a new kind of visa. It's something that we've already been working with it for some years as well. And we can say that is a chance that for the people that was expecting to have the golden visa, and this time they don't have already the chance. We are advising our clients to go through the D7. How does it work with D7? It's also very simple. We have here some conditions, has the same characteristics as a normal resident card. So if when you get the resident card, you'll be eligible to have the same rights as a golden visa holder. And the conditions, the requirements are simple, that you have to prove that you have passive income. And this is many people, they don't know what is passive income. I can explain a little bit. It's not your salary, because your salary is something that you have to be active to get some money from it. But passive income can be rents that you are collecting, can be your pension that you are collecting without any effort, can be interest from the bank, dividends from a company, anything that you can prove that you have that money without any kind of action. So many people asking me, so can they still buy some properties and then put it on the market for rent and then apply for D7? Definitely yes. So it's what we're working on it at this moment. Okay. Many people, they have this kind of situation. They still investing in Portugal. They still consider it a good market, and what they do, they invest on the real estate, and then they got passive income. It's important to explain one more this small detail, is that if you have a small rent, you have to prove another requirement for D7. You have financial support on yourself with the rents should be no less than 12,000 euros a year.
Just mentioned D7, that is for passive income, that you can come here. Is there any specific requirement? Do you have to be a retired person? Do you have to have no jobs? Because like apparently there's some press been talking about actually you mustn't have a job for D7. You must be entirely retired. You must be depending on some kind of pension or to have a passive income. Is that correct?
Not really. So for the requirements, one of the requirements of D7 is that, like you mentioned, passive income. And I can explain what's passive income. It can be you are retired receiving pension, can be rents, can be dividends, can be interest from the bank. There's a lack of possibilities for the passive income here. It's not being retired. It's not the requirement exclusively being retired. It's one of them.
So it's definitely not just for retired people?
No, not correct. As long as you prove that you have passive income, mentions the one I just mentioned, it's possible for you, and it will be eligible to apply for the D7.
So 係完全咧唔係淨係俾退休人士嘅，係 係如若然咧你有任何嘅被動收入咧，都係已經符合規格㗎啦。咁如果係符合規格嘅話咧，就例如咧收租啦，你有房地產收租啦，或者咧係有個所謂嘅pension 啦，即係你係政府俾一個穩定嘅收入俾你啦。若然係一個穩定嘅退休金咧，咁類似呢啲而唔係一個穩定嘅收入。So many people ask me, can my salary count? Because that's regular income.
It's not because it's regular, it's because it's not considered passive income.
Passive
So
income.
it's basically to be specific for the
被
people
動收入。
for the people they don't understand, and I believe there's many people they make these kind of questions. Passive income means that you don't have to have actions to get that money. For example, if you have a salary, you have to go work, you have to do your effort, you have to have actions on it. Passive income means that you don't have any action on it. So just receive a bank check every month or every year, whatever, on your bank account, and you did not do any effort for getting, because you did it on the past, or the conditions that you apply for did not make you feel some action. So it's something that you don't need to have any action to get that money.
OK， 係完全咧係根本就係好似佢所講嘅字眼，被動收入咁樣，完全係唔需要做嘢嘅，而咧你每一個月咧都可以收到嘅現金嘅收入嘅。若然你係有一個薪水嘅話咧，因為你要做嘢咧，咁唔係代表係叫做被動收入。So what is the second requirement? Do I have to live in Portugal to be eligible?
Well, it's a question that I have to give you two answers for it. Basic one, yes. Normally, when you apply for the D7, means that you want to move to Portugal and live in Portugal. And when you get the first card, the card is valid for 2 years. What happened in these 2 years? You cannot live out of the country more than 6 months continuously or 8 with gap. It means that basically you have to live in Portugal for 1.5 years. However, there are some exceptions. If you prove to the immigration that you're doing some special treatment course, whatever, in your country, you can have an excuse for living more time out of the country as well.
Okay, so is in that 2 years, the first 2 years, you get the first card or the second card?
You have one card that is valid for 2 years, and then you can renew for 2 years as well.
Okay, so for the first 2 years, basically, like in order to get a Portuguese passport, is 5 years, right?
Yes.
You have to stay here. So, and you get the first card after 2 years, and then you get the second card after 2 years. So 4 years. So first 2 years, you must be in this country.
It is not only for the first 2 years. It's every time you get the card.
Okay, every time you get a card, you must stay here for duration of how long? Did you just
1.5 years.
1.5 years, and you mustn't be away for more than 6 months.
Continuously or 8 with gap. It
Or
means
8
that
with gap.
just imagine
8 months with gap. Or yeah.
Just imagine in starting from now, 2 years from now, 2023 and 2025, if you have some traveling time on 2 months and come back, and then go again more 2 months and come back, you can do this for 8 months. But if you go out today and stay 6 months, it means that after 6 months you have to come back, because you already exceed the limit, 6 months. Excusing and avoiding this timing, as I mentioned, and we can talk and discuss this a little bit further.
Okay, so 即係咁嘅。如果咧你做 D7 嘅話咧，係5年咧你就可以有護照嘅。頭嗰咁每2年咧就有一張卡。咁就頭2年唔係每一次攞張卡嘅時候咧，你要喺葡萄牙咧住咗超過1年半，咁咧唔可以離開葡萄牙超過6個月，或者係分開計嘅話咧就係8個月嘅。咁咩意思咧？若然你係咧斷續咁咧來往葡萄牙嘅話咧，你係可以咧斷續來往咧就8個月嘅。咁若然咧你有任何咧係特殊嘅情況啦，例如如果你係要睇醫生啊，你有醫生紙啊，返你嘅國家去要做一啲特殊嘅教育嘅課程啊，咁樣咧都可以俾政府咧係嚟批准你咁樣返去你個國家嘅。 咁啊，每一個情況咧都有唔同嘅剖析啦，咁就我哋咧要同專家咧傾一傾嘅。Did it have a criteria apart from the passive income, which we're going to go into of how much exactly? Do you need to have a saving in your bank account?
No, you don't need to have a saving, but you have to prove you have that passive income. Or if you have, at this moment, we have several clients, what they do, we just open a bank account and they transfer some funds to prove they have enough and sufficient cash to support themselves. Then that cash is coming from the rents that are getting or the dividends or for the pensions. So they transfer that amount and they prove they have that passive income to their account in Portugal to prove they have enough cash to support themselves.
So a lot of people, I can just imagine, they have a lot of concerns about what kind of paperwork is eligible, what exactly is the passive income, like what if I'm getting some passive income from some mysterious pension and I'm really worried I'm going to get rejected by the, so what would you recommend is the easiest or surest, safest way to ensure that you get the approval of your passive income?
Well, as I mentioned before, we have several types of passive income, but the most common one what we have at this moment is people that they own some properties and they have receiving some rents on it. So once you do the investment and you're receiving rents, it's the basic passive income that we have at this moment. Of course, we have people that are retired and receive pensions, but the most common and popular one is receiving rents. That's why I'm saying it's possible when you are buying a property in Portugal, if it's your wish, or you don't need to buy here, you can buy anywhere, but it's easier here because you receive it on a Portuguese bank account and you can prove to the authorities that you're receiving rents. That's the conditions.
最普遍嘅情況咧，就係大部分人咧係收租啦，咁而證明咧佢每一個月咧有穩定嘅被動收入。咁你當然咧係可以咧用其他嘅國家嘅房地產咧，你擁有嘅物業咧去收租嘅。你亦都可以喺葡萄牙咧係買樓而收租嘅，咁就證明咧你有被動收入。So what if, like, for example, if I have a property here, I'm collecting like monthly rental income. If the tenant don't pay rent, like would that affect my visa?
No, because that situation you have some mechanisms to make it some evictions on the court, whatever, but has nothing to do. What is important is to prove to the immigration that you are receiving rent. If the tenants start paying, you have mechanisms to prove that, well, I'm not collecting rent at this moment because the tenant is not paying, and I sue the tenant in order to get my house back and on my rent as well. It's something that can happen the same way that you are working based on the work permit and your boss don't pay the salary. Does not mean that you lose the resident card because the boss did not pay the salary.
你個租客唔交租嘅話咧，咁亦都冇可能咧係會令到你嘅證件有影響啦，或者你嘅簽證受到影響嘅，因為咧根本完全咧係唔可以受到你嘅控制啦，你收唔收到租，所以咧根本係唔會有影響嘅。Okay, so we just mentioned like as you know, like we have a lot of like delay issue with Golden Visa. What is the benefit of like actually getting a D7 at the moment that you can see? Is it easier like to get the fingerprint?
What we have feedback we have from clients is a bit faster. However, I advise my clients Golden Visa to be patient and wait. I believe these kind of situations will be solved. I know some people are complaining a lot for 1 year, 2 years of the Golden Visa. They don't receive any news or they don't have any bookings. But it's an option and I cannot decide for them. I still believe that the ones that already start the Golden Visa, they will have the best conditions on the resident card because they don't need to live here. If someone is really intending to move definitely to Portugal, so yes, on that situation, they can move and they can change for D7. It will be faster, probably it will be faster as long as they can prove they have the requirements fulfilled. For the Golden Visas, as I mentioned, it's a question of time. It's a question of being a little bit more patient. We are solving slowly. Some clients are still pending, but it's something that will affect, continue to affect. Some people are still waiting, but we don't know how long. We expect that next month after the immigration, we'll shut down the SEF and we'll have with new agency coming. we can have some more new information for the clients still pending.
Right, let's move on to part 2 and we will see you in part 2. 我哋下一集咧就會講咧究竟係點樣申請 D7 嘅，咁啊詳細話俾大家聽申請 D7 嘅指南。下次見。